Okay, so I'm gonna be, as blunt as I can possibly be. The LGBTQ community can officially go fuck themselves. And this is the reason why. Yeah, every one of you can piss the fuck off. No, that's not how that fucking works. You can't choose to be. Autism is not a thing you can choose, okay? It is a thing you are clinically diagnosed with. What next? Down syndrome? That's not how that fucking works in the slightest. There are probably already autistic people who are trans. Autism is not a thing you can choose to be. You cannot identify as autistic. Just like you can't identify as Korean. Ollie London, I'm looking at you, you stupid twat. Let me read the transautistic. It refers to someone who immediately their fucking grammar errors, like immediately in the first fucking sentence. So clearly someone doesn't know English. Well, grammar. The shit grammar here is just putting me off. It refers to someone who wants to become autistic. It can also be used to describe someone who feels they should become autistic. Trans-autistic individuals are not necessarily allistic. They can be physiautistic people who want to acquire another form of autism. In opposition, a cis-autistic individual is someone who doesn't want to become autistic and or doesn't feel they should become autistic. What the fuck does any of that mean? Like, at this point, I think it's safe to say that the LGBTQ community is just making shit up. They're just making shit up on the fly. They're just taking things, they're taking fucking diagnoses and making fucking autism and shit a trans thing. That's not how that works. You cannot become autistic. The only way you could be autistic is if you are clinically diagnosed with it. Something I was when I was fucking 7 years old. I was clinically diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism. So I am on the spectrum. Quite high on the fucking spectrum. You cannot choose to be it. That's not how that works. And any brain-dead fuckwad saying otherwise is a brain-dead fuckwad. The LGBTQ community is beginning so much flack in recent, well, probably, I think, since they showed up and started forcing their crap. And now, it's gone to the point where they're trying to say how people can choose to be autistic or identify as autistic. No. You stupid, brainless, uneducated cunts. Not how that works. Okay? That's... No. You can't be born normal, grow up as a trans, and then say, oh, you know what? I now have Down syndrome. That's not how that works. I mean, it's a little bit as stupid as fucking Ollie London going through all these stupid plastic surgeries and identifying as Korean. Which again is something you can't fucking do. You can't identify as Korean. That's something else. And I'm going to bring that up as well. The only way you can be Korean is if you were born in fucking Korea. Or if your parents happen to be Korean and you're born in a different country, then you're Korean, but you're also that country as well. But if you were born in, say, Coventry, you cannot then identify as Korean later on in life. Okay? I'm English, living in New Zealand, so I am an English Kiwi. I cannot, however, later on, all of a sudden decide, oh, you know what? I now identify as German. Because, no. That's not how that works. Jesus fucking Christ. Give me the noise out. Your fucking earphones on. It goes into the mic. Oh, you're talking. Yeah. Hello. Not that type of talking. That's not gonna work if I'm already looking at it, mother. What? I'm right! You can take Sam's room. Sure she can. She's not here. That's a fun little thing to edit out. Maybe. Okay, so let's try breaking this down. Transautistic. It refers to someone who wants to become autistic. It can only be used to describe someone who feels they should become autistic. As I've already said, you cannot become autistic. You have to literally be diagnosed clinically with autism. And it can also be used to describe someone who feels they should become autistic. Yeah. What do they feel like they should become? Let me point something out as an autistic person. It's not all that fun. And if you see how real autistic people act, you'll see it's not all that fun. I mean, like, autistic. Let me explain how autistic people are. For starters, we're not touchy people. We don't really like physical contact. I'm an exception because I am huggy as all balls for some fucking reason. Two, we don't like if we're doing something, we don't like it being interrupted. And three, we will lose our shit to something. A great example of this is the movie The Accountant with Ben Affleck, which is one of the only real movies I've seen that has an autistic person in it. That has a great example of an autistic person at work. Being autistic is not all that it's cracked up to be. Plus, another problem you got is there's another problem you have. There's another thing that says that you cannot be autistic. Autistic people only have one bridge to the brain. Other people do not. They have like multiple bridges, meaning they can retain far more information. Far more information can get retained within their brain. An autistic person doesn't have that. They've only got the one bridge. Which is why I am so fanatic with Transformers and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Star Wars and all that. Because it is something I am extremely into. And shit like that is more likely to be retained in the brain than fucking anything else. Like, there's literally a list of shit for autistic people. Of what they how they act and all that. So, and seeing this literally feels like they're just trying to steal something. They're trying to steal autism and somehow make it theirs. And quite frankly, you can fuck off. You can just fuck off and die in a hole. The lot of you. I do not care at this point. That's just fucking outrageous. And even people who aren't autistic find that outrageous and disgusting. Because it fucking is. If you want to become autistic, you should have been born that way. But you weren't born autistic. You were born normal. And then you ended up in the LGBT community and then you got fucking brainwashed. Trans autistic individuals are not necessarily allistic, whatever the fuck that word means, unless you mean autistic, in which Did no one fucking proofread this? Like, fuck's sakes. Trans-autistic individuals, trans-autistic individuals are not necessarily autistic, no shit. They could be physiautistic people who want to acquire another form of autism. Yeah. Again, not how that works. Like, if you're trans and you were born with autism, you can't acquire another form. There's not a. Autism's not a fucking hardware store. Okay? Like, it's not. It's not a fucking loot box to get another power up. That's not what autism is. It's not. In opposition, a cis-autistic individual is someone who doesn't want to become autistic and or doesn't feel they should become autistic. What the fuck does that even mean? And like, I'm turning into a fucking looping record at this point because I'm having to repeat myself every 5 fucking minutes. You cannot become autistic. You have to be born autistic. Jesus fuck. Okay, so apparently there's a reclaimed version of it. When your trans identity and your autism are so intrinsically tied to each other that it feels as though one wouldn't be trans if they weren't autistic, or at least not in the same way. What? When your trans identity and your autism are so intrinsically tied to each other that it feels as though one wouldn't be trans if they weren't autistic, or at least not in the same way. What the fuck? What? Sorry. Reading that sounds like talking to my mum about Coke and Pepsi. Or Coke and Coke no sugar. Only, this hurts my brain. They only experience transness through the lens of being an autistic person. This term is exclusive to autistic individuals and only autistic individuals. This is not to be used by individuals whose intentions are to want autism as an allistic person. What the fuck is that even word? Or anyone looking to fetishize the autistic experience. Anyone who would have used the original term before this recording, don't fucking touch this post. Right, okay. So, I'll give them credit. They did that, but is that any fucking better? You know what, let's fucking Google this shit. Let's properly Google this, because I found this image on Twitter. That's the only reason I know this thing exists, and seeing that, I got fucking angry. So according to the Queerpedia, transautistic or transautism is a transabled identity referring to someone who desire/feel the need to neurologically acquire a form of autism, or to a neurological non-autistic individual who internally feel autism or feel they should be autistic but do not recognize in symptoms of autism. Okay. Can someone please go to this website and fucking rewrite that in English? And fix the fucking grammar. What the fuck does that even say? Oh my god. The term in the flag was created on November the 13th, 2021 by the user GeoJarInfo on Tumblr. Go fuck yourself, mate. So who the fuck this idiot is? Apparently they made something else called trans woman gender. Trans woman gender is a term describing someone who feel transgender woman, not... I've got a feeling this person isn't fucking English. Literally, if you check this out on Reddit, like, people are flipping the fuck out. Someone, pronouns are was, were. And someone says, I'm cis nauseous. Am I trans nauseous? If I'm not physically nauseous, but my brain wants to vomit. Literally, to anyone on the LGBTQ community who bitches about people being transphobic, this is the fucking reason why people say all this shit. Because you make crap up and you do disgusting shit like this, and literally what it causes is people to take the piss. People take the piss and just flip the fuck out at the same time. Because it's outrageous. I want to be cis nauseous, but I have diarrhea. Can I still claim that identity? Go for it, mate. If you go to, and I'm going to leave this in the description for you guys. If you go to Age of Autism, established 2007. So you want to be autistic. Transautistic is the new self-diagnosed. It basically, from the looks of it, it's just saying how this is fucking retarded and just downright disgusting and despicable. Let's read it. This ridiculous graphic is circulating on social media. Why have our loved ones been sexualized? The trans and cis language of gender identity has no place in securing the schooling, services, and supports our loved ones need. Autism is a life-changing diagnosis. Neurodiversity was the sneaky insertion of garbage talk that became the norm a decade ago. Self-diagnosis explained away years of failure and personality flaws. I'm not a lonely, lovelorn jerk with no friends. I'm autistic. The puzzle piece is deemed offensive, while this rainbow infinity claptrap robs our loved ones of their status as Americans with disabilities, not jackasses who tell the politically correct they are unicorns. Yeah, I'm so fucking thinking this is fucking hysterical. I love how this American writing this up is just saying how fucking retarded this is. It also hijacks a ride on the coattails of an important civil rights movement for gay Americans, including the man who founded this site, our dear Dan. P.S. A story. 15 years ago, when my daughters were youngsters, I shopped at a natural food store near my home. At each visit, a soft-spoken, languid, beautiful young man named Omar would help us. He was always so kind to the girls, even as we lurched through the store's skinny aisles with raised voices and Sesame Street songs and other autism-y sounds. He disappeared for many months. I asked the manager, who simply said he had left. One day, I entered the store to see Omar, but it wasn't Omar. It was an even more beautiful young woman in a pretty skirt and top. In my gladness to see him, explained, Omar, I'm so happy to see you. We missed you. And gently said to me, my name is not Omar, it's Jasmine. Without skipping a beat, I stuck my hand out, pre-COVID friends, and said, it's so nice to meet you, Jasmine, and then I continued my shopping. She beamed at me. We all deserve to respect who we are, and that includes my daughters with autism. Who the fuck wrote this anyway? Someone wrote this article. Literally in the comments, they're just people saying how this is idiotic and just going against this. This person called Tom's literally gone so far as to say, sorry, but there is no middle ground anymore, so accepting people for who they claim to be is no longer viable in my book. Oh my fucking god. Transautophobia. You people are taking the fucking mickey, I swear to God. I'm gonna leave this in the description as well. Transautism.car.co/hashtag. Just so you can see how fucking retarded this is. Like, this is beyond. Trans autistic people are not confused. We know who we are. Are you fucking sure of that? Like, these people and the transgender, these people don't understand a fucking thing about autism. They don't understand it. They know fuck all about it. And are just trying to add extra shit to their fucking... Well, people are probably going to call a cult now. Bet you anything it's going to become the new fucking Scientology. I'll bet you fucking anything. Someone's going to take this and turn it into a fucking religion. And they can go fuck themselves. So if they come at me with a crap, I'm going to send them to the Shadow Realm. Or the Netherworld. Nah, fuck that. I'll send them to Purgatory and let Tombstone deal with them. In all seriousness, this is fucking outrageous and disgusting. I'm not even going to bother doing it fucking... one of my normal end titles for this. Everything in this video, I've not even written the script because... no. This is my unfiltered thoughts. It is fucking outrageous and fucking disgusting. And anyone doing this, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Take it from an autistic person, you don't fucking want it. It is not all that fun. Seriously, there are times I wish I wasn't autistic. There are times I wish I was a fucking normal human being. Being autistic, yes, has its ups, but it's got a lot of fucking downs too. There are probably autistic people who didn't have any of that. They don't experience the same thing I feel. They probably have different lives, better lives. I mean, fuck, look at Albert Einstein. And yes, he was autistic. It's fucking disgusting. I have nothing else to say. Other than anyone who does this is a cunt. And they're now gonna come at me calling me transphobic. Transautismphobic. First off, that's not a real thing. You're just making shit up. 2, I'm autistic. Literally. And 3, I don't give a fucking rat's ass. Quite frankly, as of right now, the lot of you can go fuck yourselves. I don't care if you want to be transgender. I don't care if you identify as transgender. I don't care if you come out as trans. I don't care if you come out as gay or I don't give a fuck. Like that old saying goes, you do you. But this is just taking the mickey. This is just crossing a line. That is just no. This is just made up shit. Just no. No.